What's your favourite service station and why?
That's a great question.
So you've got the munchies now.
I'm going to see if I can get some tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then get a chicken Big Mac.
Yes. I can tell you the chicken Big Mac is more likely. I want to say Strensham Services. I'm the guy that goes into McDonald's and goes, I'll have 2 double cheeseburgers and a large Diet Coke. That's me. I'm that guy. Why aren't all slip roads uphill?
When it comes to KFC, I have what I like to call a mystery burger.
Hey, what's going on, man? Wow. You know, just wow. That's I find that incredible. Star Trek gives me hope for the human race.
Welcome to the Tuesday Show with CJ and Ted.
Hey, CJ.
Hey, Ted.
What's your favourite service station and why?
That's a great question. What are we talking? Motorway service station?
We are.
Okay.
Do you know what? No. I'm going to open it out. Any service station. So you've got the munchies now.
I'm really hungry now. So I am currently surfing Le Tinterweb.
Surfing Le Tinterweb.
Le Tinterweb to figure out what it is I'm going to eat tonight whilst watching the football.
Okay.
I was thinking about the chicken Big Mac from McDonald's.
I see. That's what's on the menu for tonight then.
Hopefully so. Yes, hopefully so. Unfortunately, because it's a new thing, everyone goes mental over it. All the McDonald's lovers converge on McDonald's at the same time to buy this one thing, and they just tend to run out. I guess that's what happened the other day. So yes, I'm going to see if I can get some tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then get a chicken Big Mac.
Yes. I can tell you the chicken Big Mac is more likely, even though they may have sold out, it's still more likely that that's what I'll get.
Yeah.
Rather than some. I want to say Strensham Services. Or maybe Michaelwood.
Gloucester Services is probably, it's always certainly is my favourite. It looks good. Mm-hmm. It's got a nice farm shop.
Yep.
And it's got a restaurant and other bits and pieces. Yeah, it's a nice stop.
But yeah, I can't remember the last chicken thing I had from McDonald's, actually.
I can.
What was it?
I had 2... Yeah, I'll admit to that. I had 2 mayo chickens.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice. I quite like them. I like the BLC, actually, the chicken BLC, which has got bacon, lettuce, and cheese with it as well. They're quite nice. Like chicken and bacon,
right? Yeah, with
lettuce and cheese. Yeah, they're quite tasty. And you don't have to worry about saying you had 2 of them. I'm the guy that goes into McDonald's and goes, I'll have 2 double cheeseburgers and a large Diet Coke. That's me. I'm that guy. Have you tried their triple cheeseburger?
I have. Yes, I have. Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Reckon?
Only because it was on offer on the app. Have you got the app?
I do have. Not the McDonald's app, no.
Oh right. It was 99 pence on the. It was on offer on the app.
Nice.
I always use the app because that way, if I go there, I can just sit outside in the car and they can bring it out.
They'll bring it to you.
Yeah.
It's good, that, isn't it? I think I've done that a couple of times where I've ordered on the app, and like say you go to the drive-thru and you go, yep, order number blah blah blah, and then you go to the next, it's already bought and paid for.
Yeah.
And they just go, yep, there you go, and you're like, great, thanks, bye.
Mm-hmm.
So, although a couple of times I've done it and they've still kept me waiting, and I'm like, but I pre-ordered this thing, so I don't have to wait. Why aren't all slip roads uphill? When you come off of a motorway, why do they not all go uphill to help you slow down? And then when you join the motorway, all downhill to help you accelerate to match the speed of the traffic on the motorway? Why is that? I mean, surely that just makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Also, the other thing is, when it's downhill, you've got the crest of a hill. So if there's traffic, you can be coming very, very quickly towards lots of stopped traffic in front of you. And you're coming off the motorway, and you're going down the hill.
So if every slip road, if every exit off of the motorway was uphill, you'd have better control over deceleration. Pre-ordering stuff, that's what annoys me when you pre-order things. And you're just like, So why am I now waiting for it?
Yeah, I think that the phrase pre-order is the thing that annoys me.
Yeah.
Because
well, you're not really you're ordering
you're just
it.
ordering. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what we used to call ordering, and now people call pre-ordering. Yeah. No, I've just ordered it.
Well, to be fair, I have pre-ordered pizza before.
No, you haven't. You've ordered it.
But I've ordered it before the restaurant is open, therefore I pre-ordered it. So the order hasn't actually been accepted at that point. So it's not really ordered. It's just been... I've told them that that's what I want.
You've requested it, but you haven't pre-ordered. You've ordered.
But I have...
It's not a rainforest. It's a fucking jungle, all right? Grow up.
Struggling to think of service stations that I really don't like. Apart from, maybe...
Love them all.
Yeah. Like I say, as long as it's clean, I'm okay. I like Beaconsfield services. God, this is a dull conversation, isn't it?
Bruh.
So what's your dream job?
Pilot. Commercial airline pilot.
Hmm.
Those people make a fortune. But it's not all about the money. I've always been an avid fan of aviation, and I've always wanted to fly. I'm just not smart enough. Or fit enough. But,
But apart from that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, apart from those two things, I could be a pilot.
The thing about being a pilot is the only thing that puts me off about that, or I suppose anything that involves going somewhere very quickly, is that every now and again something can happen. If you're always in a plane, your chances of being in a plane crash increase dramatically.
You can say that about drivers, though, can't you? If you spend your entire life driving, your chances of being involved in a vehicle collision of some description increases exponentially.
Yeah.
My chances of, touch wood, of being in a collision are, not that much because I don't really drive that far.
Mm.
But then again, they always say the most accidents occur within 2 miles of the home. So,
and that's just in the trousers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Isn't it weird? I mean, no, hang on. I don't know what I'm going to... when you need to go and you're on your way home?
Yeah.
How it just gets worse. I mean, yeah, ultimately, yes, of course it gets worse because you're getting closer and closer to needing to go.
Yeah.
But when you're just turning the corner, it's critical because I think there's some sort of, you kind of relax a little bit because you're getting that close. Like the amount of times that, it's been sort of real touch and go at the door.
Yep.
And then you always drop your keys.
I hear you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's that, like you say, it's almost, you're fine, and you could be fine for a couple of hours.
Mm.
Yeah, you're aware that at some point you're going to need to go, but for a couple of hours, you're like, no, that's okay. And then, like you say, the closer towards home you get, the more desperate it becomes.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, you pull up on your driveway or outside your front door or whatever, and then, like you say, suddenly it's an emergency. You have to go.
Yeah.
And the same applies to motorway services as well. You're like, no, I'm okay, that's fine. And then you're like, right, actually, the next services I'll pull over. And then you see the sign, it says mile away. You're like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can make it there. And as you're on the slip road coming off the motorway, all of a sudden it's an emergency and you have to go. And you're either power walking because you're clenching your butt cheeks together as you're walking towards the toilets and you look like a total weirdo, or you're running there because you're not going to make it otherwise. It's just mental.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to America, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving up the interstate, came to a toll booth, and I'm kind of looking around whilst I'm waiting for just a quick glance around, and so many people are on their phones, just holding it up to their ear. It's obviously not illegal in that state to do that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, wow. Just wow. Mm. That's I find that incredible. Not because it's illegal over here, but just the fact that people are confident enough that they can drive down the road holding a phone to their face and still remain in full control of the vehicle. I'm not saying that you should, everyone should drive, 10 to 2 both hands on the steering wheel type thing. But yeah, if you're having a conversation while holding a phone up to your ear, you are not 100% focused on your driving. But the same argument could be had when you're on hands-free. You're not 100% focused on your driving. You're having a conversation.
Yeah, but the same argument could be made that if you're having a conversation with somebody who's in the car,
exactly,
you're not going to be focused on the road.
But at least with that, you can still look around freely and check if you've got a phone in your hand while you're, it's not as easy to turn your head and look around.
You say that. I mean, obviously, you mentioned hands-free as well, but of course, if you've got somebody in the car with you, there's a very good chance that you would naturally want to turn towards them to speak to them.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse if they're sat in the back and you're in the front.
Yeah, absolutely. I see. If someone, I'm never turn my head around to look at somebody. I'll use the mirror for that. I'm not gonna be driving down the road like that and go, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
When it comes to KFC, I have what I like to call a mystery burger,
right?
Because it doesn't.
It may or may not contain chicken.
It may or may not contain anything that you've asked for. I find with KFC in particular, if you ask for something at the drive-thru, the chances of getting something remotely similar are 50-50, okay? Given the dues, right? Sometimes you get what you ask for. But it'll either be, if I asked for a Zinger Tower burger, I can well expect to get a Zinger burger that's not a tower. I can expect to get a tower burger that's not a Zinger. I can expect to get the sides that I've asked for or a different kind of sides. So I'll ask for rice. I'll get beans. If it's the box meal that comes with the what do you call it, the hot wings, it may or may not come with hot wings. Who knows?
I had this experience.
It's definitely a mystery burger situation. I will pick it up and go, screw it. Life's too short. I'll just take whatever they give me.
So I ordered 2 pots of their spicy rice, a couple of pots of coleslaw, all part of this meal deal thing, and a bottle of drink.
Yeah.
When it arrived, one of the pots of rice was missing, and I was like, "Where's my second rice, you bastards?" What? I was literally, and I'll tell you what it was, because I was craving chicken and rice. So I thought, I know, KFC do spicy rice. I shall order a KFC and get that. No, one of my pots of spicy rice was missing. I was like, you wankers. Absolutely wankers. I was watching Reacher on Prime, and there are so many scenes in it where he and other character are in the car, and he's just looking at her for like 15, 20 seconds at a time. I'm like, look at the road, look at the road, look at the road, look at the road. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, that's mental. Absolutely mental. And I was like, no, surely that can't be accurate or a true depiction of driving down the road in America. Surely nobody looks away from the road for that length of time. Like, it's one of those where I get it. Sometimes they'll look over, but then they'll look back and like this. But he's just there, and I'm like, even I'm feeling uncomfortable with that. If I was a passenger, I'd be like, hey, eyes on the fucking road. Yeah.
It's annoying when things like that happen on TV, because then that really, it distracts you from the plot.
Yeah, you lose the immersion, don't you? You kind of lose the immersion. So I've ordered pizza for a later delivery.
Yeah.
So when I'm driving home, I think I've done it before, actually, probably having stopped at Strensham Services. Having then gone on to the Domino's app, knowing that I'll get home for around 7 p.m. ish. I've then ordered pizza to be delivered at around 7:30.
Yeah.
So I've gone, cool, that's fine. And then I drive home, and I arrived just as the Domino's driver arrived as well. I was like, that is how you do it. That's amazing. And I've done it before where I've ordered some takeaway, and they've arrived a couple of minutes before me, and they're there pressing my buzzer.
Yeah.
And I've kind of walked up behind them, and I've gone, oh, you for, this is when I was in a flat, I was going, oh, you for number whatever. And they've gone, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's me. I ordered it to be here when I arrived. And they're like, oh, okay. So, yeah. Cool.
I like the way your face lights up with the memory of turning up at the same time as the delivery driver. It's like you got to take these little wins, haven't you?
That's it. It was a proper win. I was like, yes,
I'm winning
get
at
in.
life. Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I have won the game of life.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person that vocalizes when someone goes, oh, they'd never do that. Oh, they'd never do that. I hate doing it. I hate people that do it as well.
Yeah.
You know, so somebody we both know quite well who is in the medical field, regularly when
ambulance
they watch,
driver.
Yeah, when they watch medical shows, they go, oh, they'd never do that. And I'm like, dude, it's a fucking drama. Shut up. It's fictional. All right? It's not a documentary. It's fucking fiction. All right?
Yeah.
Just shut up.
I think... Yeah, I think you've got to have a certain amount of artistic license. But the problem is, I think it does ruin it if you do know that's not how it's done. That's wrong. An English judge with a gavel.
Yeah.
They don't have gavels.
Nope.
You just destroyed your entire scene just for the effect of going.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But the example I was about to use was, I work in technology.
Mm-hmm.
When I see anything that involves, camera footage, and someone goes, oh, zoom in on that. So it zooms in, but it's all pixelated and shit. And then they go, enhance. No, that's not how video works.
Yeah.
I can zoom in for you, but you're not getting a better quality image because that's just how the image is. All right. So, that's not how it works. But I don't let it get to it. It's just that it's just for dramatic effect. Yeah. Or it's just for, oh, look at us. We can do whatever, fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know there are technologies out there where you can clean up pixelated images. It uses algorithms and AI and all that kind of stuff. And that's cool. Mm. But just to sit there and go, enhance. Yeah. And all of a sudden this picture becomes crystal clear. No, that's not how that works. Even close.
I think one of my most popular phrases is I've slept since then, which is, I think I possibly overuse, but it's largely an excuse for not remembering
I use
a bloody thing.
I use that at work when someone talks to me about something we spoke about that same day. Do you remember we were talking about this morning? And I went, no, I slept since then.
Yeah.
And they go, huh? And I'm like, it's fine. I slept since then is generally a placeholder for I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Or still, I slept at the point at which you were telling me that last time. Yeah, I'm not necessarily very good at remembering things.
But surely it's all about what's important to you at the time.
Well, quite, yeah.
As to what you remember. Like, you remember your mum's birthday because it's important to you. Mm. You remember what food you like because it's important to you. Maybe there's an element of repetition in there, which obviously helps with, memory retention. But if it's a passing comment or something about something really inconsequential, you're just going to be like, I don't know. Did I? Are you sure? I can't remember the show I was watching, but they were doing something on a computer and the guy was literally just doing this on the keyboard. And I'm just like, you're not typing anything. And he's like, let me just look at that for you. Click, 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 click. Yeah, this is this. Click, 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 click. Yeah, this. Yeah. And I'm like, you're doing nothing. And you've kind of ruined, again, that immersion for me. But again, I'm not really paying attention to what you're actually typing. Maybe that's just me as somebody who works in technology. Yeah. I understand how the technology works. So I'm paying attention to that kind of stuff. But I'm trying not to let it get to me. But still, I'm just like, put in a little bit of effort. Make it at least look like you're typing. Rather than just mashing a fucking keyboard,
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I know it's all, they like it to look stylish and sexy, but, when you get the scenes where you've just got somebody who's obviously far too attractive to be a police officer or whatever it is, they'll just come up to this screen and go, okay, just a minute. Lots of things will be going around this screen.
Oh yeah, the whole pushing things around on this screen. Push that. Okay, all right, let's just enhance and
Yeah. There's all the details we possibly need. Let's go.
Yeah. Everything's right there on this see-through screen.
Yeah.
It's a transparent screen. Like, well, that tech doesn't exist.
That's not going to work. What? Like, where's the guy with the piece of paper and the attitude?
Yeah. Why, well, that's it. But why is there not, stacked on the desk in front of them, stacks of files and folders full of paper? Because we still work on paper for the most part.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my mum the other day actually about apparently when I was younger I didn't return a library book, and she got like got to pay a £3 fee.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, okay. She was like, do you not remember? I went, no. A, I was probably really young, and B, it's not something I particularly care about right now. So yes. I'm not going to remember. Yeah,
that's right. But this happens to me, and it was, a conversation that apparently I had with somebody, like a week ago, and I will have no recollection of it. And sometimes I think it's a conversation that women do this. They will have a full conversation with you, but they'll do both sides. Like, they'll talk at you, and then in their head, you're replying, but none of it really occurs. And then a few weeks later, say, do you remember we talked about that? It's like, there's no we.
Yeah, you
spoke about that whilst I was doing something else. Whilst I was watching something, you were wittering on about something. But no, we didn't have a conversation. That's not what I call a conversation.
Yeah, there is no we.
Yeah. So my responses are: was I awake? Was this first thing in the morning? Was this last thing at night? Was I facing you at the time?
At what point during my first cup of coffee of the day was I? How far through it? Star Trek gives me hope for the human race. That there is somehow, possibly, this idea that we can all live in peace, irrespective of where we come from. There's no longer this economic drive for improvement. Everyone does it because they want to do it. Everyone, wants to improve themselves and all life because they want to do it, because it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying it is the right thing to do.
Who decides what the right thing to do is?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is the right thing to do, but it's that
the problem is,
there is this plane of existence where we can live peacefully, and we can live, without this massive overhead of, I need to make as much money as possible so I can live a good, comfortable life.
It's not about that. It's, I think money's just tokens. It's about having a fulfilling life. People want to have a fulfilling life, and they may not necessarily realize, but subconsciously, they need to be producing something or doing something that's worthwhile. And money as tokens is just a way in which we kind of facilitate that. So if somebody starts a business, they start a business, and working within the frameworks that we have in the world at large is that we use money to barter. So
it's trade, isn't it?
It is trade, and we're doing something, and we're passing that on, and somebody wants it, and this is it. It's a win-win. Somebody wants a banana, I give them a banana. Okay, they pay with some money, but it's not all of their money. Because they're still spending money on other things, as things like oranges and apples. But I take some money from that. Now, I've motivated myself to organize a way in which I can get bananas to that person, and I've taken a reward from that. But it also gives me purpose. As a banana seller, I have purpose. If I wasn't a banana seller, and if, say, for example, a government said, look, everybody's going to get free bananas, isn't it brilliant? I'd be sat in my home with a free banana thinking, what purpose has my life got? But the memories are very strange and fragile thing. What's interesting is, you mentioned your mum saying, "Oh, do you remember such and such?" There are things that I've had, parents say, "Oh, do you remember the time when, this happened or that happened?" And I think to myself, I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because so often it's something that's, they remember. And you've been told about it so many times that actually, even though it's in your head as a memory, you don't know whether you actually remember it or not.
No.
You've been told the story so many times that you can picture it, but did it actually happen?
Exactly.
Oh, did you make that sandcastle? Do you remember making that sandcastle? I don't know. I mean, I remember being told about it.
Yeah.
And it's that's kind of an example of how you can see how false memories can be planted in people's heads.
What do they call that? Is it the Mandela effect?
Now that's an interesting one.
I think it's called the Mandela effect, where it's basically it's a false recollection of an event.
Yes, well, that's a strange one, because that is I think the Mandela effect is just something where I don't know, a whole section of the community somehow
commonly held false memory. Yeah,
which is weird. But people's memory is not great. Like, for example, when it comes to eyewitnesses, you'd think, oh, great, we've got an eyewitness. They must know exactly what was going on. But generally speaking, they are as fallible as anything else. I mean, probably a good eyewitness is probably a video camera or something. But actually, an individual will recall things in a different way to somebody who stood right next to them. Like, for example, if you're walking down the street, you hear a bang, you turn around, there's a car and there's a bicycle. The bicycle's on the floor. The cyclist is, there with his arm covered in blood. Before you know
blood
it,
everywhere.
Yeah, blood everywhere. But the point is, you see this. A policeman comes along and says, "Oh, were you here?" You say, "Yes, I saw what happened. The car hit the bike, and the guy fell off his bike and hurt his arm in the process." Okay, great. Didn't see any of it.
No, complete
because
lies.
you heard a bang and you turned around and you saw what the result was.
Yeah, and your brain kind of filled in the gaps for you.
Your brain filled in the gap, and you might be stood next to somebody else who saw it, or you might be stood next to somebody else who didn't see it, and you talk about it and you say, "Oh, I can't believe that happened. He just came out of nowhere." Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah. And before you know it, you're convinced that you saw something.
Yeah.
That may well not have happened. What's in the news?
There is nothing happening in the news that isn't going to trigger me and go off on a rant. And I feel like that's not the purpose of this show.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with having a rant.
Why are cryptocurrency adverts taking over the Super Bowl? Is that really newsworthy? I mean, it probably is newsworthy, because especially how most of the world seems to be most government-controlled world seems to be against cryptocurrency.
Well, yes. I mean, anything that might diminish their control is something to be wary of.
Exactly.
Although I have to say, I'm a little bit wary anyway. I don't know an awful lot about cryptocurrency, and that's overstating how much I know.
I know a little bit, not nowhere near enough to be able to trade and make money from it.
I saw something the other day on TV, and I thought, that's not how that works, and it kind of really put me right off. Basically, it was a drama, and this woman was in her house, and the police turned up to effectively tell her that somebody had an accident.
Right.
But the lights were flashing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not accurate.
You've done that to demonstrate that the police are turning up.
Yep.
For a dramatic effect. But what you've actually done is you've destroyed that scene. Because now all I'm thinking is, Why would they turn up with their blue lights flashing to give somebody a death message? You wouldn't do that.
They just wouldn't do that.
No. But it just looks like it's, I don't know, some sort of, some swish office in some kind of startup, some tech startup, but it's supposed to be a CID. Yeah. It's like, there should be a guy in the corner. There should be a guy in the corner trying to eat an unfeasibly large sandwich as well. But you don't get those sorts of things in those shows.
I think that might be one of the reasons why I like shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I know it's a sitcom, but when you kind of picture a police precinct or police station and the detectives or CID as we call it here, their office, it is just a bunch of desks full of paperwork, with people trying to eat, an uncomfortably large sandwich, fat people, thin people, there might be the odd good looking one, but they're generally just kind of mediocre or whatever, I quite like that because I guess it's sort of accurate, even though it is all parody.
Yeah.
The actual placement and the surroundings look what I would that's exactly how I would picture a detective's office.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of desks, and with shitloads of paperwork everywhere. Like you say, not this fancy swish Google looking place with exercise balls as chairs. People do that. People sit on exercise balls as a chair because apparently it's good for your back.
Yeah.
No, screw that. I want a nice, comfortable chair. Thank you.
Yeah. I
want to, in the middle of the day, just flick a lever below my seat and be able to lean back without falling off. That's what it's about. Yeah, much like this.
Much like this.
Oh, see ya. Yeah. See, comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. If I wheel myself this way, look at that. I can lean back and still be on mic as well. Good luck editing this.
That was The Tuesday Show.
Get in touch with us. All the links are in the description. And until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.